The Sunspears are an ancient order, honorable protectors from brighter years in Alona's history. Most of my brothers and sisters were awakened and forced to serve Joko. You know them now as the Mordant Crescent. A few survived, in hiding.
Strong.
Recruiting to sustain the order across the generations in hopes they might one day rise against Joko. Zaeim has become the Spearmarshal of these Sunspears. We serve his vision of an Istan free from Joko's grasp. Zaeim was trained by a Sunspear named Ketur, until word of Istan's plight reached his ears. When Balthazar attacked the mainland, things got worse in Istan. Much worse. Istan was Zaeim's home, and despite his mentor's protests, he could not sit by while it burned. Zaeim vowed to bring the Sunspears out of the shadows, to once again make them a shield for the innocent and the scourge of the corrupt. I was the first he recruited, but many would follow. Eventually, we convinced him to take the title of Spearmarshal. Balthazar's campaign on the mainland caused ripples throughout the kingdom. Crops burned, trade lines disrupted, shipments to Istan that never got past Palawadan. Joko's loyalists are comprised mainly of the island's nobility, and only they are allowed to live within Palawadan, its port city. They control what comes in and what goes out. They decided food would not go out. When people objected, the Temple of Joko said those outside Palawadan's walls were disloyal and didn't deserve food. It started out as a way for the nobility to feel virtuous watching half the island starve. But it escalated. Quickly. Isner Isles had enough, and declared their independence from the rest of Istan. By then, the temple congregation had armed themselves. The loyalists went down there, intending to make an example of the disloyal. Zaeim was prepared, though. He taught us a great deal about guerrilla tactics. The Sunspears crushed the loyalists, sent them running all the way to the northern shore. The Awakened garrison was manned by a skeleton crew, no pun intended, thanks to your liberation of the mainland forces. Nonetheless, the Mordant Crescent sent 50 Awakened to find this famous Sunspear champion and end the rebellion. We don't know how he did it, but two facts are undisputed. Those Awakened lie dead,
strong.
And Zaeim lives. The people started calling him the hero of Istan. It galvanized the whole island behind him. The Mordant Crescent and their loyalists imposed martial law, even within Palawadan itself. They started conscripting the living and awakening the dead. If you won't serve in life, you can always serve in death. Anyone suspected of aiding the Sunspears gets rounded up for re-education. With their supply lines broken, their families imprisoned, recruits getting harder and harder to find. Well, as you can imagine, things started falling apart. The Mordant Crescent would rather watch Istan burn than tolerate any commoner who shows some spine. And Zaeim and his Sunspear recruits? Well, we have spines of iron.
I'm looking for Priest Sazeer. I heard he may have seen what happened.
Awakened overran us. Took our food. Damn near destroyed the place. What does it look like?
Not you, Father. Me. He forgets he's now an elder priest, retired. This isn't a good time. We've been through a lot.
I was told Spearmarshal Zaeim had ridden here to help. Have you seen him?
The Spearmarshal. Yes, he did come to our defense. I thought he might be able to turn back the
Then
Awakened.
Sayida the Sly and her corsairs ambushed him. Carted him off to sell to the highest bidder.
I can't exactly just walk onto her ship and ask her to give him back. I need some leverage.
Might be a way. Old Corsair family like the Slys. Only one thing means more than gold. Honor.
No, Father, I know this story. It would be suicide to even try.
Centuries ago, story goes, a Sunspear champion found a coin belonged to a Corsair. Name of Margaret the Sly. Sly family wanted it back. Swore they'd grant any favor to whoever returned it. No one ever has.
How can I get this coin?
You can't. Hundreds of Corsairs have entered the cave of the Sunspear champion, hoping to best him, win the coin, and get a favor from the Slys. All have died. Like I said, suicide.
I've died before. It's overrated. Where do I find this cave?
It's on the south shore. You need only follow the trail of dead, but I wish you'd reconsider.
Boy, who do you think you're talking to? If anyone can win that coin, it's this one. Might even help our town along the way. I can see it in your eyes, Commander. Corsair be with you.
Ugh, trail of dead indeed.
Another deluded fool come to court death in the name of avarice. Koss will oblige you too.
I have no wish to fight you, but I need your coin. Not for myself. To save a Sunspear. The Spearmarshal.
Sunspear? What are you trying to pull? The Sunspears died out years ago.
No, they live, and they're fighting right now to save Istahn, but they need their Spearmarshal.
And from what does he need saving, this Spearmarshal?
The current Sly Captain, Sayida. She plans to sell him to Joko's minions. I need him to help me win a war.
Joko? I died valiantly, a worthy end only to be raised from the dead by that infernal sop, turned into this. Compelled to obey his every order, I banished myself here to evade them. Can't obey what you can't hear.
Ingenious. Then it should please you to give me the coin so I can defeat his armies.
I like you, but I don't know you. Koss was no patsy in life, and he will not be in death. Honor demands you will fight, and probably die, like all the rest. But best me, and the coin is yours. I will break you!
enough energy.
Come here, protect me!
Go ahead, hit me. Good. Go ahead.
Koss! Come here, protect me!
That went better than I expected.
On Koss!
Retreat!
Come here, protect me! Well, I'll be cursed. Again. The great and mighty Koss bested in combat. Who the hell are you?
Someone who's in a hurry?
Well, the coin is yours. I'll no longer be entertained by foolish corsairs seeking glory and favors. This life beyond the grave will become even duller than before. Hard to imagine.
We hope to bring down the Mordant Crescent, and with Joko in the domain of the lost, things can change.
His whispers travel far, even on others' lips. I dare not leave, lest I become his weapon once more. But you do me this favor. You hurt him hard, so not one more soul can be condemned to this. Now go!
You can never have too much treasure.
The Sunspears of my time thought it best not to engage Joko directly. I knew he was too much of a threat to ignore. We were the ones who released him. It was up to us to end his menace. I took a few volunteers to do just that. We failed. I failed.
Wanted to give you an update. The branded here in Amnoon seem to have moved on. Casimir says Kralkatorek is still sitting in the mountains.
Sounds like you've got things under control back there. I could use everyone's help here with the Sunspears.
We can head that way, but I think Timey's having too much fun feeding rocks to her golem.
Scruffy is running them through his petrology spectrograph.
Rock tests. I got it. Check in when you get here.
You're mine!
So pitiful. This one delivered himself right to us.
On your way, Outlander. Only ship's crew allowed on my docks.
Wait, you're the dockmaster who helped me back in Amnoon Harbor.
I'm with the Order. Keep up. Well, if you're dead set and ready to do this, I'll let the pirates know you're here. Parley!
Parley! Parley! Parley!
That'll get you safe passage onto Sayida's ship. Getting back, you're on your own.
Retreat!
Ha! First the hero of Istan, and now the hero of Amnoon. Looks like Captain Saida's collecting the whole set.
What do you say we keep him and split the bounty right down the middle?
Stand down. This one here's under Parley. You touch him, you'll feel the steel of the whole Sly crew.
So you're the commander. You built quite the reputation. God killer, dragon slayer. You're worth more than the last 50 souls I handed over to Joko combined.
I left Joko in the domain of the lost. Whoever's paying bounties, it isn't him.
Yeah, the bounty money's good. Who cares?
You're not handing me over to anyone.
Where? How did you get that? That coin belongs to my family.
Which means you owe the commander.
You always have invisible people following you around, Commander?
Probably more than I realize. So, I give you the coin, you give me Zaeim. Simple.
Not simple. I gave him to the Mordant Crescent an hour ago, in exchange for the bounty.
Timing is everything. Know where they're holding him?
The jail in their Great Hall.
Your cozy relationship with the Mordant Crescent Warden will be our ticket in.
We're not friends. I have to have something to give her.
Give her me. Drag me to the Great Hall and tell the Mordant Crescent you've come to claim my bounty. You'll get Margaret's coin, the bounty on my head, and credit for capturing me.
Ah, and once the Mordant Crescent have you, they'll lock you up with Zaeim.
I don't know. I mean, what if they kill you? How do I get my coin back then?
You're already getting my bounty. A gesture of good faith. Think of it as a down payment.
Or think of it as assurance that you won't double-cross us, if that helps. I'll leave you two to chat.
Find the brewmaster, Medi. Tell him we need a batch of his grog. We'll have to get the ingredients. Liquor from the alehounds, knuckle salve from Stonefist, and shrapnel from what's left of the powder keg crew. Word of caution. You'll probably be acquiring these things over someone's dead body. Possibly yours. As for the other ingredients, Medi can tell you where to find them outside the flotilla. Any questions?
Grog?
First rule of prison breaks. It's bad form to show up without a gift for your host. The ale Medi brews up is legendary. It can knock out even the biggest Corsair. Surprisingly, it smells and tastes just like any old strong ale, but it packs a serious punch. Not even an undead stomach can keep it down for long. It's for, let's call it insurance. There was one time we made the mistake of having a single Corsair guard all of the ingredients while we went out carousing. Woke up the next morning to find our pockets empty and the Corsair gone. Headed north to Vabi, apparently, with everything we had. After that, we made an old-fashioned accord to store each ingredient separately. That way, we all know who's brewing up a batch.
Good. Retreat!
Oi, you there! Do you dare try one of Medi's monstrous drugs? There's a good chance even one will make you sick, but maybe you're feeling lucky. Do you have the stomach?
Retreat! Go ahead. Hit me. Retreat!
One more thing for my list of accomplishments.
Look at this one. Can't hold your drink.
Better a lightweight than a loose cannon.
What are you trying to say?
I may not hold my own brew. At least I don't drunkenly sink my own ships.
How dare you!
I'm bleeding! Retreat! Retreat!
fine, I'll leave him.
You better run!
I'm here for the coin.
Here's the grog from Medi. You care to share how exactly this fits into the plan?
Second rule of prison breaks. Combat's always easier when your opponent sleeps through it.
Fair. But even with guards incapacitated, there's a whole garrison of troops outside.
Leave that to me, Commander. I'll be stationed outside with the cavalry.
Meet me outside the Great Hall when you're ready to start your suicidal plan. And you. Next time you appear on my ship without warning, be advised that I will kill you. And I will enjoy it.
Nice gear.
The ale Medi brews up is legendary. It can knock out even the biggest Corsair. Surprisingly, it's for, let's call it insurance. There was one time we made the mistake of having a single Corsair guard all of the ingredients while we went out carousing. Woke up the next morning to find our pockets empty and the Corsair gone. Headed north to Vabi, apparently, with everything we had. After that, we made an old-fashioned accord to store each ingredient separately. That way, we all know who's brewing up a batch. It's a minor miracle we can trade without killing each other. The Alehound's top priority is removing anything that stands between them and their next drink. The Stonefists never turned down a fight. Ever. I've seen him refuse to leave a sinking ship if it would interrupt a brawl. The powder kegs love to blow things up. Sometimes those things include their own ships. And we Slys prefer to work behind the scenes. A word in the right ear, or a dagger in the right back. Saves time and money.